random side note I wanted to make. I was on YouTube just like, you know, uploading my videos and stuff as per usual. And like, I kind of got randomly curious of like, how many other people play Blackberry Honey and like post it on YouTube? And I was looking. And legit, the only other videos I could find of people playing Blackberry Honey were Russian men. like I believe it was Russian. I could be wrong. It could be a completely different language. But from the quick glances I looked at, like the text was like in Russian, I believe, and like it's clearly men speaking, and I'm just like, why are there only Russian men playing Blackberry Honey? Is it a big thing in Russia? Or like I couldn't find like English videos or even Japanese, like at least of people playing the game and like uploading it. I didn't look that hard though. So maybe I'm wrong and there are more English speakers or Japanese speakers playing this game. But I'm just like, of all the countries to be playing Blackberry Honey about lesbian maids, I didn't think it'd be Russia. The fact that it's men playing doesn't completely surprise me. But I'm also just like, I don't know. It's weird. Not that weird, but weird to me. Anyway. Weird side note over. Let's actually play the game. Lorena found herself sitting in a parlor at a wooden table. Tawa sat to her left, one leg folded across the other, her dark hair falling across her shoulders. On the opposite side of the table were two young women who looked curiously familiar. One of the women had dark hair tied in two neat buns. The other, meanwhile, seemed to be around Ethel's age, so maybe a girl would be more fitting. Her hair was blonde, her lips were soft pink, and her skin was fair. I met you after church that one time. Ah, yes, it is a pleasure. The older woman beamed, clapping her hands together. I did wonder when I would be able to sit down and have a proper conversation with you, Lorena. In my opinion, it would be better if we didn't bother. Oh, hush, Emily. Are we at, like, a lesbian tea party? Because I'll accept this if this is what the scenario is happening. Because I don't remember why we're here. Honestly, I don't know why we're here and why we're meeting these two characters again. But I'm excited. Now utterly confused, Lorena glanced curiously about her surroundings. The curtains and carpet were a rich wine-red hue, and the furniture seemed to be made of oak. It all looked very expensive. Lorena sniffed. The air smelled homey, of chamomile tea and old books. I love chamomile tea. It's not the best tea, but I love it. Hey, why are you sniffing the air like a dog? Are you trying to insult us? Oh! Lorena started. The sullen blonde Emilie, was it? Was glaring at her. Her glare was so intense, one could have been forgiven for assuming Lorena had barged into her home uninvited and vomited on her shoes. That's quite the description. I'm sorry. You should be. What are you, a dog? My little Lori is many things, but she is not a dog. So she isn't your cute puppy Tao? Oh, it's these two big girls being like, oh, who's your new plaything? They're just talking about it. So she isn't your cute little puppy Tawa? No, not yet at any rate. Oh my, but she seems so well trained already. The way she followed you in here, all lost and confused, was particularly adorable. I enjoyed it when she almost tripped over her own feet. Ah, yes, that was very cute too. Delightfully charming. Excuse me, can you stop talking about me like I'm not here? Oh, I apologize. Duly noted. You don't sound very apologetic. You know me too well. Lorena sighed. Now, why had she wanted to get closer to Tawa again? The whole thing was more trouble than it was worth. So, what are your names? Oh, yes, I should have introduced myself sooner. My name is Theodora, and this is my younger sister, Emilie. Oh, they're sisters! And they were roommates! But no, seriously, I'm so sad now. They're sisters. Ugh. It ruins my mental image, but that's okay. It fits her attitude, I suppose. But they... Oh, no. You know what? I kind of see in the faces, though. And the eyes. Fair enough. A pleasure. Right. Marina had never met anybody who made that phrase sound less pleasurable before in her life. Theodora and Emilie, was it? Theodora? Did I say Theodora? I feel like I just said Theodore. And now I'm like confused. Theodora and Emilie, was it? She would try to remember that. And how do you know who I am? Don't look so suspicious, dear. There's nothing underhanded afoot, I promise. I'll decide that for myself when you tell me the truth. The truth? Oh, she looks troubled. She looks legit troubled. The older woman pondered, her head tilted to one side. You see, Tawa's a dear friend of my family. I've known her for quite some time, since she was even younger than my adorable little sister, in fact. She's told Emilie and myself all about you already, on numerous occasions. She's, like, super in love with you. Though we've not been formally introduced before, I knew you on sight. Tawa is quite taken with you, after all. Oh, I was not wrong! Taken? Lorena blinked. Her cheeks flushed. What on earth did that mean? It means she's gay! Tawa has always been overprotective. She was worried some of the maids were mistreating you, so she asked us to keep an eye out. I didn't want to help. I thought it sounded like a pain, but... I've known Tawa for a long while, so I thought I might as well. It's the honorable thing to do. My, Emilie, you've become such a gentleman. Shut up. But your tongue remains as crude as ever. I am always saying she could stand to work on her manners. And how is the work on my violin progressing? Do you have any news? It's been a week, Tawa. You didn't think the repairs would be finished in a scant 7 days, did you? What kind of violin work needs more than 7 days? God created the world in 6. Marvelous though I may be, I am not God. Not even I would go that far. How humble. I'm incredibly humble. I understand. Oh, sorry. I understand these things can take a while, and yet... You would rather I cut corners, increasing the speed of production, but reducing the quality? No, I suppose not. But... Tawa made a show of pouting and traced the top of the table with her fingertip. Oh my word! She has this side to her. That violin is my baby. I've had it for more than a decade. I'm protective of it. Does that mean you don't trust me? Of course I trust you, but all mothers get a bit broody when they can't see their babies. The bond between a musician and their instrument is a wonderful thing. I'm so lucky my line of work allows me to see such passion on a daily basis. Sister, you exaggerate. You don't have that many customers. It's hardly my fault the residents of this village are Philistines who don't appreciate a good concerto. You would make so much more money if you moved to London. I don't know why you insist on being so stubborn. Because this is our father's business, and our grandfather's before him. You wouldn't be so callous as to abandon our family ties, would you? What of our roots? I don't care for roots. I would rather go to London. When I think of all the pretty dresses I could buy there and the parties I could attend. You're too spoiled, Emmy. There's no such thing. I think there is. I've bought you too many gifts. I lavish you with love and affection. And for what? For you to tell me you would rather move to London, of all places. But it's boring here. And what do you suppose our dear mother and father would do when they return from Zanzibar, only discover we have sold their house and moved to the city? You're being awfully optimistic, assuming the return is still a given. It's been more than 5 years. Oh, dang. That is a long time. Oh, my little Emmy, so cynical. Get off me. Stop prodding my cheeks. But I want to. I'm your sister. Aren't I allowed? No, not in front of the guests. Please don't worry your pretty little head about me, Emilie. I have no qualms about watching cute girls squirm. Oh my god, what? Ah! Why you? Emilie batted her sister's fingers away and shot Tawa a glare strong enough to wither roses. You really are awful, Tawa. My sister's always a nuisance, but she gets even worse when she sees you. We just have similar tastes, that's all. It is a pleasure to converse with like-minded individuals. Yes, indeed. I have yet to find another person who shares my pure, honest, heartfelt feelings for cute girls. I was talking about the music, actually, but I suppose that also works. Oh. You just outed yourself. Theodora, whom Lorena was beginning to suspect was something of a fool, laughed sheepishly. I knew that. Of course you did, dear sister. Of course. A soft breeze caught the curtains, so they fluttered. Lorena could see individual particles of dust dancing in the air, flickering like fairies. What would it be like to own a house like this, all to herself? Lorena didn't know. She couldn't imagine it. She'd been much too poor for the majority of her life. She'd been much too poor for the majority of her life to even contemplate such a thing. My little Lori, is something wrong? Lorena sighed. I'm fine. If you really were fine, you wouldn't be pulling such a face. What face? Like you've just seen a beloved family pet get hit by a carriage. You're reading into it too deeply. I'm fine, I promise. And you're not jealous, are you? Jealous? Of what? I'm not sure. Perhaps you should tell me that. Wink, wink. There are many things that I could be jealous about. But jealousy is a sin, and it's not a productive way to spend my time. Well, if you're sure. I was worried you might be envious of my relationship with these two lovely ladies. No. So you're not? Not at all. Not even a little bit? Lorena shook her head. Tawa smiled. Well, good. It would be foolish to be jealous. My relationship with these women is one of business. I have been a customer of Theodora's for quite some time, and where Theodora... And where Theodora is, Emilie is never too far away. Also, it's very weird that the music just kind of cut off and stopped existing, 'cause it sounds way too weird. It's nothing but me and my voice. I'm not sure I like this. There's the music! Whoo! I was starting to get concerned. Oh, Tawa, how cruel! We have known one another for years, and you say our relationship is strictly one of business? I even brought you home to meet my parents. I had your father appraise my violin. I was hardly seeking his approval for a future wedding. Oh! How she wounds me! Theodora collapsed back against her chair, one hand held on her quivering bosom. I fear my heart will break. I cannot go on. This world has not been kind to me. Now I must depart. If you do decide to snuff it, would you kindly reimburse me beforehand? I don't pay people for unfinished work. Tawa, ice cold! Theodora sniffled, wiping imaginary tears from the corners of her eyes. You drive a hard bargain. It is the best way to get things done. My sister is very talented at her craft, but she is unforgivably lazy. You need to give her a prod every once in a while, or she will fall into inertia? Wow, I don't know why I read that word completely wrong. Inertia was the word. You don't need to prod too hard. Having an adorable little sister around who demands only the finest clothes and ribbons for her hair is incentive enough to work. Tawa tapped her fingers against the inside of her arm. It has been a week, Theodora. And I already told you it will take longer than a week. I know your violin is important to you. You've brought it in for maintenance enough times. And I don't want to rush it. Were you hoping to discover something new by returning here so soon? Not particularly. I just wanted to show off. Show off? I thought my little Lori might be interested in seeing my violin. It is my pride and joy after all, and I enjoy letting others gaze upon it. You make it sound like something indecent. How is a mother showing off her baby indecent? There can be nothing purer. Because it's coming from your mouth, Tawa. They can look but not touch, Indeed, you are the only one, other than myself, who is permitted to fondle something so precious. Oh my gosh, this dialogue. Tawa, this is why people think you are a pervert. And she says our relationship is strictly business. What am I, a strumpet? Sometimes I do wonder. Emmy? Are you trying to damage my reputation? You damage it enough yourself, sister, when you drink too much gin and then start swearing like a sailor. Shh, that's a secret. It's all right, Theodora. I know all about your vices already. I don't have any vices. I'm as pure as the driven snow. If you want to discount the gin. And the cursing. She doesn't even go to church every single Sunday. How scandalous. Says the one who doesn't go? Ha! Says you. You don't go to church at all. Humph. Sure, our Father up in heaven, hallowed be his name, etc., etc., won't mind if I miss a sermon or two here and there. Nobody's perfect. Least of all you. There are many areas I am deficient in, but caring for instruments is not one of them. In fact, I shall prove it. You can be the judge of this yourself, Lorena. Who, me? That's right. Tawa came here to show off her baby, did she not? I'll go fetch it for her. But, I don't know anything about music. Oh gosh, my voice. It's fine. You don't need to understand fine art to appreciate it. If you have eyes, you'll see what I mean soon enough. And just as Theodora had said. Oh. Wow. Lorena blinked at the instrument, sitting innocuously on the table. The sunlight streamed in through the open window, playing across the wooden casing so it shimmered. I loved the music for this. Its casing was a soft, nutty brown, with reddish hues running through it, and it contrasted beautifully with the dark black of the ebony neck. The violin was round in shape, soft, almost feminine somehow, and practically seemed to invite caresses from wandering fingertips. Even the description is a little, sensual, and I'm not sure if I like it. It was the kind of instrument that begged to be played, even by a clumsy girl like Lorena, who could not have coaxed a single note out of it, let alone a soaring concerto. Though its delicate, hourglass-shaped body was marked here and there with small scratches, it was an undeniable work of art. Lorena felt almost humbled to imagine the hands that must have poured over the creation of such precise, perfect object of beauty almost. How old had Tawa said it was? More than a century? It was incredible, really, that the instrument had survived for such a protracted period of time, particularly given how thin the neck looked. It was just like the stem of a flower. It must have been cared for tenderly. That was probably why the maple wood was marked here and there with scuffs. It was not because the violin was unloved. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The violin was scarred precisely because Tawa cared for it so deeply that she continued to play it. If you loved something, you did not simply let it sit in a corner and gather dust. True love was only displayed by continued use, and this violin had been used frequently. But that only made it all the more attractive. It really is beautiful. Indeed it is. I knew you would understand, my little Lori. It's a true work of art. Any collector would kill to have it in their collection. Literally kill? Yes, quite literally. There are a few things in life worth committing murder over, but a violin like this? To end another's life in a jet of crimson for the sake of such a fine specimen. I can understand that perfectly. Emilie observed her sister with narrowed eyes. Much like Queen Victoria, she did not look amused. I know you've been eyeing it up for a while, sister. Hey! Don't make insinuations about my trustworthiness, Emmy. I would never steal an instrument from a client. You better not. Why? What did I? Blah, blah. You better not, Theo, or I would hurt you. I wouldn't. A lot. That smile says it all. Theodora gulped. Lorena had to admit there was something rather troubling about Tawa's statement. Her wide smile didn't really help. Emilie, for her part, remained unmoved by the thought of her sister's impending demise. If you do get hurt, sister, you deserve it. You act like an old man chasing the ankles of a pretty young chit. She's so desperate, it's almost endearing. Sister is always desperate. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I had to switch my Streamlabs thing over to the live scene because I forgot to do that. You're the one chit here, you saucebox. And you're not very pretty when you're being so obnoxious. Ow. Emilie winced as Theodora delivered a swift jab of retribution upon her blonde crown. I'll admit it, I would love to own something this beautiful. But isn't that natural? We humans live our lives hoping to possess as many beautiful objects as possible. What other purpose is there in life other than to accrue riches? You're not Gilgamesh, sister. And I never will be at this rate. Is that violin really worth so very much? You have no idea. No, I don't. That's why I asked. Well, let me put it this way. The group of 4 glanced back down at Tawa's violin. The sleek, nutty case shimmered as it caught in the dispersed beams of sunlight. We've already had this description. Lorena had thought that Tawa was joking when she called it her baby. Now she could see where such a term of endearment had come from. If Lorena had possessed something so precious, she would have babied it too. It's no Stradivarius, but it would fetch quite a handsome sum on the market. A genuine Italian violin from fair Cremona, where we lay our scene. Oh, sorry, that was Tawa. Where we lay our scene. That was Verona. Forgive me, I'm not too well versed in the works of the bard. A violin from Cremona, made by a skilled artisan more than a century ago, is a very desirable piece. I still love that joke. Where we lay our scene. In fact, Tawa asked my father to praise it for her, but oh, I did something. There we go. Tawa asked my father to praise it for her about more than a decade ago, I believe. Don't say that, Theodora. You shouldn't reveal a lady's age. I don't even know how old you are. You haven't seemed to age a day. She's a witch! Ah! I do like being mysterious. How you have such a violin is a mystery indeed. Father was shocked when he saw it, nearly fell off his chair. Grandfather, too. I don't think it was a coincidence that he keeled over only a scant 2 months after he first met you. Father wrote a collector in London for a second opinion to ensure his estimates were correct. And do you know what the collector said, Lorena? What? Lorena already knew before the words fell from Theodora's lips. She knew it, but hearing it out loud made it seem even more real somehow. Inarguable, but dizzyingly improbable. It's worth more than 600 pounds. I was about to... If I remember correctly, at least how it works now, pounds are like... It's not quite double American dollars, but that's how I would do the math in my head when I lived in London for a short period of time. So I was being cautious about how much money I was spending. But it's less than double of what American dollars would be. So I think it's like close to $500 or $400. I think. I could be wrong. Here, let me actually do the conversion now. That's the pound sign. Or is that the euro sign? Oh, that's a good question. I thought that was the pound symbol, but maybe I'm wrong. English. Pound. Symbol. Okay, no, I'm right. That is pounds. Cool. I'm not dumb. 600 pounds in US dollars. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I did that wrong in my brain. So, reverse what I said. As in, the US dollars is like, the number is higher than pounds. So, 600 pounds is it's roughly 762 US dollars. So forget everything I just said before. Sneeze ASMR. Oh my word, stop. But yeah, no, whenever I was like, okay, 12 pounds? That's like $24. Let's not do that. And like, I saved way more money than I needed to, but it still helped me because I was like, I don't want to just be like, 12 pounds is $12 because that's also not how it works. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, no, that's a ridiculous amount of money. And especially when you consider, like, it doesn't seem that much to people, but you got to remember this is in older times. So 600 pounds is a big frickin' deal during this sort of time period. I still can't believe it. If people want quality, that's the price they're willing to pay, I suppose. And I only earn 10 pounds per annum. Lorena sighed. Even if I worked until the day I died, I'd never be able to make that much money. Not through honest means. That's obscene. It does seem unfair when you phrase it like that, but that is how commerce works. What are you talking about? Excuse me. Ugh, gross. That violin is special, unique, a real work of art. You, on the other hand, my little Lori. Let's just say there's no shortage of desperate girls in need of a few bob to rub together. If you stopped working for Lady Leonard, she would be able to find a replacement for you in due course. And the violin? It is a rare treasure, being one of few known surviving violins that was produced in Cremona in the 1700s. Did I say that right? 1700s? I think, yeah. It couldn't be replaced if it was lost or damaged because it's worth its proportional to where it was made, who made it, and how old it is. That cannot be replicated. It's nice to know how little I'm worth in comparison to a block of wood. Rub those puffs together. A very pretty, well-crafted block of wood. A block of wood, nonetheless. You're oversimplifying, my dear little Lori. Don't call me that. You've told me that before, but that hasn't stopped me.